Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the I Like Birds podcast. I am on a new microphone, baby. It's my new Yeti. I was struggling for 35 minutes to try to figure out how to set it up. I was super loud. It sounded like I was yelling at you guys for the first 30 minutes, so I had to fix that. I'm still kind of learning the equipment, so bear with me. Hopefully it sounds good. And if you were expecting some awesome intro, you ain't gonna get it. Welcome to the show.
People, are you ready? Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
All right, my beautiful people, I have limited time, and this is going to be an episode that has no notes. It's going to be one that I have to wrap up rather quickly. Not rather quickly, but my wife is at home with our 2 kids, and she called me, and they're making lots of noise in the background. So we're just going to be one take Drake today. That's what I call it because that's one of my favorite artists. His name is Drake. Even though you already know it ain't worship music. It is secular music, but I still rock with Drake. All right. So I'm not going to lie to y'all and say I don't. I'm not a huge fan of his new album. But anyway, that's besides the point. We're here to talk about Jesus, jokes, and country. And I want to talk really serious today, all from the heart. If I leave something out, it means it wasn't meant to be said. But man, Jesus has been blessing me so much since my last episode. I have seen a spiritual deliverance. I have gone through a mini deliverance myself. Not in a way that is any kind of like, whoa way, but just a way of like, just kind of figuring out what I need to work on, which is the attitude of Christ and like the way I use my words. And I am working on that. I'm a work in progress. Sanctification is a process. So I got to witness a true deliverance. And then I was able to feel like I was in the process of being delivered for something I'm struggling with. So that was huge. That happened. I mean, right now I'm in my office in Fort Worth, Texas, with a beautiful new computer, a beautiful new microphone, headphones. I got the flag behind me. I got my Rust book on the wall. I got Jesus posters. I got my MJ poster. I got a marker board with goals on it. Go to my Instagram if you want to see what the new goals are. I just wrote that today and I'm feeling good about it. It sounds like I'm whispering, but I'm not. I just feel like I just went through a nightmare with the Yeti, with the microphone. It's called the Yeti. So get on board. All right. If I say Yeti, it means microphone. All right. So I feel like I'm whispering, but I'm not trying to whisper. I'm just talking at a good sized frequency right now. I don't think that made sense. Good sized frequency. But I was thinking about something else. I was trying to tell you all else about the room. I took pictures of the office if you want to go see it. I just added a new clock. I added the mini fridge. I got a fan in here. I got my speaker. I got my trash can. I'm feeling good. All right. Got the flag behind me, doing it for the country, but doing it for the people of the country. You know, not for politics. I'm doing it for the people, baby. All right. When I say Jesus, jokes, and a little bit of country, don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you who to vote for or who not to vote for. Don't ever vote for Biden again. But I'm telling you that we need, as the American people, to realize what is happening in front of our eyes. All right. There is a lot of stuff going on. All right. And we have talked about a lot on this show, and it's kind of come to pass. OK. It's here. I'm not saying I have the gift of prophecy, but actually I'll tell you guys this. I've had somebody prophesize over me recently that have told me I am going to be, I'll just be honest. I don't want to say this to be like in any kind of way, but told me I was going to be wealthy, and which that's what I'm going for, baby. I want wealth. I want health and good prosperity. I want life. I want good blessings, but I want to bless others. All right. So that was number one. But also they told me I was going to have the gift of prophecy and be a leader of men. So that was an awesome thing because that's kind of what I'm striving for. That's what I hold my hat on high to. I don't think I said that right either. But that's why I'm better with words. That's why I'm better with writing, guys. Because when I'm off script, not off script, but when I'm just speaking from the heart, sometimes my brain goes faster than it should. You know what I mean? And I just say the wrong thing. And that's why it's so important to be thought out and watching what you say, because you're going to be judged for every word that comes out of your mouth. I heard this quote today. It was actually kind of profound. I think it was by Socrates. It said that we only have speech so we can conceal our thoughts. I was like, ooh, conceal our real thoughts. Dang, I messed it up. But yeah, we only have speech so we can conceal our real thoughts. I thought that was pretty deep. But that's why it's so important to be in the Word, man, just so you can let God conform your thoughts instead of letting the world or just yourself or your flesh. You know what I mean? So Anyway, so the blessings, let's get back to it. I'm all over the place right now, but that's just because there's a lot to talk about, a lot to fill you in on these last 3 weeks. It's been intense. It's been heavy. It's been spiritually heavy. It's been physically and draining, honestly. I am so tired, like so tired, guys. I've been sleeping terribly lately. I'm like excited to live my life and excited like what's going on. So I like stay awake. Like I'll just lay in bed thinking, right? So I need to work on that. That's something I need to work on. Attitude of Christ is one of my big goals on my marker board. If you want to go check that out, you can check it out on my Instagram. I posted it, guys, just so you can kind of see my method and my process about how I kind of handle life and tackle life. Not saying I'm an inspiration, but I like to be inspired, and I think other people's journeys and pursuits inspires me. So I want to use that as a vessel to inspire you. So one of the goals, I'll just read you guys the goals. Y'all are listening. You deserve to hear all 10 of the goals. You don't have to go to Instagram, but sometimes it's good to see it in writing, you know? Anyway, goal number 1, let's talk about it. It's at the top of my list for a reason. It's called, number 1, having the attitude of Christ. Because so many times in my life, personally speaking, I let my expectations ruin my reality. My ego and what I want to do is at the top of my list, and then everybody else's needs are at the bottom of my list. Not every single time, but a lot of times when I'm not being of Christ. Right? So I always say, it's a new quote. I always say that expectations are the best friends of ego. So they're all kind of following in the same path of just like, I want this to go this way. And if it doesn't go this way, I'm going to be fleshly. I'm going to have a crappy attitude. I'm going to be arrogant. I'm going to be all these like bitterness. I'm going to have all these ridiculous kind of energies about myself that are not of Christ. And I need to stop pretending and acting like I don't know Christ. It's a daily process, and it's a daily deliverance that I'm hoping that occurs in my life. And that's something that I was telling you guys earlier about what I need to be delivered from. And Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 through 11 truly rocked me on this subject of the attitude of Christ. All right, goal number 2, God's will is greater than mine. That's just making sure that I stay on his path instead of mine. It's so easy to fall back into the world's path when you're over here, you know, going to an office, driving to work, not in an RV, you know, like on the road. You know, I'm still in the RV, but not on the road anymore. I'm back in Texas. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's what's going on. Because I'll get to that later. That's the big blessings of this episode I kind of want to share with you guys, which is the main focal point. And I don't have any notes, so this is all off script. So please, I hope you enjoy this one. It's going to be a long one, most likely. Goal number 3, writing is greater sign than money. I write for a living now, and that's been an incredible blessing that is new in my life. It's been since January I started, and then since April, I really went hard at it and focused on that once I quit my restaurant job and went on the road. And then it really just has picked up in the last couple months severely to the point where it's like, oh, wow, okay, I do this now, and I don't ever have to go clock in again, which is incredible because you already know I ain't trying to get vaxxed or masked. So your boy feels great being able to come to an office and write for people. I've been writing best man speeches, podcast scripts, wedding toast, advertisements. This is just, you know, it's mostly speeches and podcast scripts. So that's been incredible. I've been able to really glorify God through the speeches. When I allude to God, I was able to actually write a 15-minute like ceremony for somebody that was marrying the couple. So that was super cool. I got to just do like the everything. You know, I got to figure out the flow of it and the ring ceremony and the Bible talk. I was quoting Ephesians. I was over here quoting Corinthians. I was just out here, you know. It felt good to be able to like do that for somebody, and she paid me pretty nice, you know. So it's been awesome to be able to like lean into this new season of my life with writing. But I always got to make sure that the writing is more important than the money, because if you start doing things for money, that's when it becomes like gross, you know. And I kind of already feel that. The more it picks up and the more busy it gets, and I'm like, ooh, you know, you start seeing like, hey, you know, but you feel good. And it's like, you know, I want the goal of money and like the fruit it brings and the blessings it brings, but I also need to be smart and realize that the writing is greater purpose than the money is. The money will come as long as you still focus on the writing. All right, this one's cool. Birds plus school equals future. That's just let me know to keep my priorities in check. Because your boy back in college, got my second year of school left, my ministry school. So the books are good, but it definitely is a sacrifice and a time commitment, especially when I got 2 kids at the house, homeschooling, which I'm going to tell you guys about that in a little bit. Homeschooling Noah, who's here now. I'll tell you guys about that in a little bit. And then, and yeah, so birds, you guys are so important to me. And just this podcast has been like kind of what's given me, I don't know, the leap. God's given it to me, but telling people about God has given me the leap of faith and courage I need to go out there and just go hard, man, and just have new goals and new levels, man. There is levels to this. Don't ever let anybody tell you there's not levels. There's levels of spirituality. There's levels of prosperity. There's levels of faith. There's levels of growth. There's levels of wealth. All right. So don't ever let anybody tell you there's not levels. All right. This is for one person, maybe 2 people listening that have been hearing a lot about levels lately. All right. Number 5. Big leaps equals new levels. Hey, there we go. Goal number 6. Get out of your head. This is a big one. I'm learning how to not overstress all the things I have to do. I'm not learning very fast at that. I still struggle with it. One thing I've learned recently through one of my webinars is when you have a bunch of stuff that you have to do and a lot of stuff going on in your head, just get it all out. Don't do a to-do list. Do a not to-do list as well. So like, just like eliminate some stuff you think you got to do and just put that on, not postpone it. Don't be silly, but make sure you prioritize what's important. All right. Number 7, this is just kind of for me. It's called Jesus, Russ, Sarge, JD, my boy Jeff the Weird. 1 brick at a time. These guys are probably the 4 most influential people in my life currently. And it takes 1 brick at a time to master something that you have your eyes on, and it's interesting because I want to kind of make a separate video about this. And I'll just give you a little snippet of it, but we're all kind of programmed inside of us to idolize and worship somebody else other than us. I think that's because we're so flawed. And that's why I think Jesus is so perfect to worship and idolize, because he's the complete opposite of us. He's like us, and he came in our likeness, and he was born as a human and whatnot, and he died as a human, but he's next level. He's the only level to really chase. My boy Russ has just changed my mindset completely with his music and his book and just the way he lives his life currently. And his bars and his lyrics are so inspirational. He said the other day, he said, I make broke people think that they're rich or feel like they're rich, in like his music. And it's called Utah Freestyle. It's so good. Check it out. Only if you like hip hop, because if not, it's going to be weird. You're going to be like, that's not very Christian. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but dude's inspirational. What can I say? Anyway, relationship with Jesus, not religion, All right, number 8. It's okay to have new goals. It's okay to have new goals. That's a big one for me because I switch up what I like to do a lot of times. I'm over here like going hard at one thing, and the next thing you know, ooh, this looks cool. And I'll just pursue that for 2 years. And then, ooh, this looks really cool. I should try this. Oh, I have a degree now. Okay, cool. So I think it's okay to have new goals, and don't let anybody try to keep you boxed into what you tell them that you're going to do. And that's, there's 2 different types of people that like to tell others what they're going to do and actually come through with it so they can be like, hey, I walk the walk and I talk the talk. Was good. But then there's people out there that don't like to tell anybody what they're doing, and they just like to make power moves, like, oh, you didn't see that one coming? Well, I got the keys to the Benz. Oh, you thought I was at the apartment? I just built the crib. So 2 different types of people in the world. I like to say what I'm going to do and then follow through with it. I've of course, you have to be comfortable in your own skin, though, to realize like, that ain't for me. I told you guys I was going to go on the road for a year in the RV. Hey, guess what? My son's moving to Texas. So therefore, and my wife is pregnant. So therefore, it's going to be about 4 months. All right. So sometimes you just got to switch up and have new goals, baby. And that's okay. There's new seasons for everything. Don't let anyone tell you different. All right. Don't let the world tell you different. All right. Anyway, I'm having fun with you guys, but that's just because I missed you, Number 9, the Bible is the best book. I think we forget that sometimes. We're always like, hey, you got any book you recommend? Hey, what new book you reading? What's on your nightstand? What's on your Netflix queue? why are we turning away and not opening the word? Why are we not opening the word at least 3-4 times a week? Come on, baby. Even if it's just Proverbs, get in there. Even if it's a Psalm, dive in. Let's go. Number 10, I like this one a lot just because it's the motto. Let's grow, life's short. Come on. Let's grow in our faith. Let's grow in like our pursuits and doing God's will and just life's short. Why not? Why not do it while you're here? You know, it's like you get those treasures when you're in heaven, and that's eternal. You get those blessings when you're in heaven, that's eternal. All right? This is temporary. It's a vapor. All right? Gone today, here tomorrow. All right? We're gone tomorrow. The world stays here. Or maybe it doesn't when Christ comes back. Who knows? All right. Let's switch gears here. Let's talk about the blessings. All right. So got the office space, feeling good. Been writing for a living, feeling blessed. Making moves, feeling smart, reading a lot of good stuff. I don't even know what television is anymore. I mean, me and Noah went and watched the Bucks vs. Cowboys game. That was really fun. We had a blast. We went with my sister-in-law and niece, and my other sister-in-law popped in. It was good times, right? Found this awesome new spot in Texas, a great new restaurant on 54th Street in Mansfield. If you're ever over there, check it out. But yeah, so man, I'm so giddy. I'm so excited to kind of talk about this. Okay, so man, y'all know my heart. Man, if you've listened to this show for a while, you know that I've been dealing with some pain, like some real pain for 3 years and 2 months to be exact. Me and my son Noah, we are best buds, but we were truly like super close, 0 to 5 years old. We were 50-50 in Florida. Me and his mom, you know, always have done the co-parenting thing mostly well. We've had some hiccups, of course, like anybody else would. But we're on the other side of that now. And she just spent the last 3 years in South Carolina in the military. And that's why I actually moved to Texas, because I was actually coming here because, number one, my wife's family was here. And my wife wanted to be close to her family when we had our first child. And then obviously she loves them very much. She's very close to them. And then my dream was stand-up comedy, and I saw that it wasn't going to work in Florida. I was like, you know, I started here. I was the new guy. I'm always going to be seen as the new guy. So I need to go to Texas where I'm like the new guy, but at least I got 15 minutes. I got 10 minutes of stand-up ready to go. You know, I have experience. You know, I was excited to come here and just chase a dream since Noah was going to be in South Carolina, and I also didn't want to like be driving around Florida and just seeing everything that reminded me of him, because it was already super heavy. It was like the worst day of my life when his mom came to pick him up and take him away. Like, ooh, it was so hard, like so much pain and tears and just bent over crying with my wife in bed. Ooh, not a good feeling, not a good day. Even just talking about it, you're like, ooh, even though I know it's like I'm on the other side of that, it's just like can't even, ooh. All right. Where was I? So was stationed in South Carolina. So me and her came up with a parenting plan. Well, it was honestly not even a parenting plan. It was just more so like, hey, this is what it's going to be now, because I'm in the military and I don't have any control of my life anymore. So he's going to come up here with me and go to school up here and all that stuff, because I have all the benefits of the military, and I'm his mom, and you know, like, I don't know. I didn't really fight it. I didn't understand it really when everything was going down. I didn't understand what it was going to be like. I never experienced that, and I didn't really fight it. I was just kind of like, all right, I want you to do what's best for you and him, and I can't tell you what to do with your life. I'm not your husband or anything like that, or even boyfriend, you know? So it's like, all right, you do what you got to do. And she did it, and it taught her a lot, and it was an experience for sure. And she signed a 6-year contract, but by the grace of God, she had a child and was able to get out of the military. So she was able to get out of the military maybe a few months ago now. And then they went to Florida to be closer to their family. And it just didn't work out. You know, it was just like there was a bunch of signs and things happening that made them feel like this wasn't the place for them. You know, and originally I was excited for Noah to go back to Florida because I knew my mom was there, and my dad was there, and my brother. So they would get to see him more, and he can have a relationship with them as he grows up. And I would be able to go see him more because I got family and friends there and stuff too. And his mom even invited me to come to Florida with them ahead of time, and was like, oh, we can like rework our parenting plan and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, wow. And then it was, man, I talked to Olivia about this like really deeply for like a week or so. and a couple other friends as well. But I was torn, man, because I knew my wife didn't want to go to Florida. Like, she was happy in Texas, and we were on the road at the time. We just started doing the RV thing when all this happened. And, you know, I dropped Noah off after spring break, and he's telling his mom that he wants to be homeschooled. And I'm just over here like, we never even talked about this. Where's this coming from? And he's like, I just want to be with both you guys. And he just takes it so hard every time we said goodbye. We both do. Let's not kid ourselves. We're like dogs just crying, like sad tears, like just over and over again in each other's arms and stuff like that, just holding him tight. And he, like, you would say bye and he wouldn't say bye. He refused. He would refuse every time. And then he would go away with his head down, just broken every time. And I would go to the airport just emotional, heavy, sad, everything. And then Noah's mom hated seeing that too. Like, she didn't like seeing him that way. So she was, inviting me to Florida. And I was like, because that's where they were going. And I was like, all right. And my heart was torn, because it's like, do I go to Florida and my wife and Malachi miss out on what their heart is filled with, and like, this is the consequences of sin, guys. Do you understand? And I don't say that lightly. This is the consequences of premarital sex and just and like everything else that was involved in my life in that season, in that era of time before I truly knew Christ, and that's what happens. That's the consequences of sin. We were so lost in the sauce that even like the whole military thing, I didn't even fight her on it or like try to fight for him to stay, because I had no idea what it would be like. But that pain for 3 years was insane. It was like, and then I had this moment when I just started the RV thing. I'm like, dang, we're about to be gone for a year, and she invites us to go to Florida, and she was going that summer. So Noah came up and did the RV thing with us for summer and whatnot. And then I was like trying to hype him up about going back to Florida, and thinking he was like, all right, his love bucket's going to be filled. He's going to be happy there. And then I drop him off, and then again, bam, he refused to say bye. And it was a repeat all over again. And it's like, dang it, he's still hurting. And then next thing you know, I see a Candace Owens video. And my son's mom and I have had a moment about Candace Owens videos during the George Floyd protests and stuff like that. Like, I shared one of her videos, and she didn't say the nicest things. She said some true things, but also like there's other perspectives to look at when somebody says the truth, right? So there's multiple perspectives that you can look at in a situation and be like, well, she shouldn't have said that. That's wrong. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of wrong in that regard if you look at it from that lens, but I'm looking at it through this lens, right? So we didn't see eye to eye on the lens with her, right? So I was kind of hesitant to send a Candace Owens video that I just watched to her. And so I got to do it. So I sent it. And it was all about like homeschooling and what they're doing to our kids right now. And if you guys remember, I did an episode recently where I kind of talked about this. And I don't even remember if I expressed it to you guys or not, that my heart was hurting because I'm going to homeschool Malachi. But I felt like sad that I couldn't homeschool Noah. Like, it was something that was heavy on my heart as well. And just seeing him go to school and just like in like that process of like, I don't know, man, it felt weird. And especially last year with the mask and then the plexiglass, like that just makes me so angry and so upset, and just like it's out of my control. He goes to school and he's under somebody else's control with their words and actions and following a line. It's like indoctrination. It truly is. And if you guys don't agree with that, I'm sorry, but it is. I mean, think about this. Even when we went to school, we had vaccine shot requirements, and it's like, what? It's like everything has been kind of set up for this moment right now of like, dang, bro, they really duped us. They really hit us with the okie doke of like, there's no medical freedom in this world. Like, if they can put something in your body, that is your temple, guys. That is your God-given temple. And if they're shooting you up with aborted fetus cells, I think that's a little immoral. Wouldn't you guys agree? So I don't want Noah to be homeschooled. You guys can't trust me. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna talk about country in the middle of a Jesus thing. So I just sounded so dorky right there, but whatever. So I sent her the video. I sent his mom the video. She's watching it. She calls me after like 5-6 minutes. She's like, hey, I'm driving right now. I don't really want to watch this whole thing. Can you just summarize it up for me? And I was just like, dang, all right. I wanted you to watch the whole thing because it gets deep about the homeschooling thing. So I started talking to her about it. And next thing you know, she goes, well, do you want to homeschool him? Do you want me to homeschool him? And I was like, yeah, but I don't expect you to do that on your own. And then she's like, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know how I would do it on my own and whatnot. And then I was like, so what's your plan with, I don't even know what, I don't know. No, here's what I said. I remember very specifically. We were talking about it. It was going deeper and deeper into the schooling thing. And then all of a sudden I said, because I didn't even tell you guys this part of the story. I got to back up. I'm sorry. I got to back up. I got to back up. So when he was the last Sunday, he was at church with me here in Texas. We went to church one last time before I flew him back to Florida. They did an altar call, and in the song, in the moment of worshiping during the altar call, I gave Noah to God. I prayed, and I basically sacrificed him to God, because it was at that moment I stopped trying to control the Noah situation. I stopped giving myself the guilt. I needed to let go of the guilt and the sadness and the hurt and the confusion and the what do I do about this situation? Do I move to Florida? Do I stay here? Like, what do I do? Like, every question and everything that I was struggling with in that moment, I'm crying on top of Noah's head during the worship song. It was called Make Room for You. It was that song. And I'm giving it all to God for the first time, and I've given small things to God with Noah, like, hey, God, please, if I'm not there, please just be in his heart. Please be with him. Please be in his heart. I need you there if I can't be there. That's one of my biggest prayers for Noah. And then next thing you know, I'm praying, I'm crying on him. he's like looking at me like, oh, you okay? And, but he was sweet. He was just like, he was consoling and comforting. And then we go home. And then, so back to the original story. I'm on the night before, I was in my Bible, and I said, I was, having like a little bit of a moment with God, and I was kind of like thinking about that situation of just him being there. And I just, for some reason, God put on my heart of like, how much money would you give her to move here? What are you willing to sacrifice for her to move here? And then, I came up with a number in my head. I don't know. It just popped in my head, and I was like, I would pay this amount of money for her to come here. And that's pretty bold. I know that's a little weird way, but that was just the way my mind worked in that moment. So the next day I'm on the phone call, and God put it on my heart the night before to ask this question to her. And in that moment I had this like, all right, now's the time. So I was hesitant, because I'll tell you why I was hesitant after I tell you what I said. So we're talking about the homeschooling. We go deeper on the homeschooling thing. And I just say, what do I got to do to get you to move to Texas? Austin, Texas. And then bells and whistles went off. That was on their heart and on their mind. It was the place that they're actually been thinking about and hearing about for the last few weeks. A friend of theirs moved to the Texas in general that they were friends with in South Carolina. They've been talking to her about it. And next thing you know, when I ask her the question, it all turns into a conversation about them actually moving here, and how we would do things, how we would homeschool. And it was as if everything came together in one moment of God answers every single prayer. It was something that I've never felt before, of just seeing the hand of God work every single situation and put it all together. Because I'll just give you guys the inside baseball. I'll be very honest with you. I've mentioned Austin, Texas to his mom a few times, at least twice. And each time I've said the words Texas, it's been an immediate rejection, because she went to basic training out here in like the boonies of Texas, where there's like dirt and like one telephone pole. So on my heart, I've already been turned down twice when I've mentioned the name Texas. And I was worried about that. And also I was just, of course, worried about the situation of just being like, I didn't want to come off like selfish and whatnot, or just, any of that, right? But it all just made total sense the way it all came together, and like we're in a place right now where we've had a really good run of being very civil and very like co-parent friendly. And the homeschooling thing, I don't think she was ever on board with it until recently. And it's almost as if in the beginning of the whole COVID thing, you guys already know where I stand on certain things. And I brought this to her a couple times and it didn't go well, right? It was more so like we were on opposite ends of the spectrum with certain things. And I'm very firm in what I believe. I don't sugarcoat much. I don't. You guys, if you've listened to the show, you know the deal, right? So and sometimes her and I clash because of that, because I'm too, and I got to be careful because sometimes I say too much on here in general. I just say too much in life all the time, right? So, and I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that's just how I am, and I'm trying to work through that, trying to be delivered through that. You guys heard it earlier. Anyway, so her and I are in a good place now. We weren't always on the same page with a lot of things, but we've become on the same page with a lot of things as of recently because her eyes have opened and she's seen a lot of the truth that's happened in the world, right? So she's still respectful of like businesses and stuff like that when she goes in and stuff like that. And like, yeah, that's totally fine. You can choose that. Just like the whole, like everything about everything lately has been so, wait, you don't see what's going on? How? You know what I mean? It's like, if I have to explain myself anymore about what's going on in this world and in this country right now, I ain't got time. All right, it's been 17, 18 months. If you can't see the globalism, new world order agenda that is going on right now and like the attack on freedom, then you never will. All right, I'm sorry that we're all gonna be sick forever if that's the case, if you don't see that. So don't want to get off on that. See, I get too honest on here. It's like I'm talking about blessings and I'm over here like talking about like wild stuff, right? Not wild, but I just want everybody to be aware. And I care about people, man. I really do. I love people of this country. I love God and I love people. All right. So man, we get off the phone and she starts making moves, dog. She's over here like calling around because she has a camper, RV2, way bigger one than ours. Super nice, and it's like it's a fifth wheel if you guys are familiar with what those are. And so she's making moves, calling campgrounds and thinking, like asking me like, all right, do I just pull them out of school in Florida? Like, what do I do about that? I'm like, pull them out. And then we started doing like research on homeschooling. And next thing you know, we're full on about to homeschool him, and he's about to come to Texas in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. I think it was 3 weeks after we got off the phone. Like they had a date already. Yeah, I found out like August 12th or something like that, or August 13th or something, and they were here September 1st. So like it happened so fast. It was such a beautiful hand of God, and Noah was so happy, guys. When we told him on the phone, he's thinking was sitting on the couch and he screamed with joy, and then it hit him like a bag of bricks, and he just busted out crying and like leaned into his mom's chest and like was hugging on her like then, and then the rest of the night he was hugging on her. He was just so happy and just so like it was his dream, it was his wish, it was his prayer, it was all of our prayers. It's all coming together at the same time, a huge miracle. And she's willing to leave her family in Florida and her wife's family and just come here and start brand new, guys, brand new. So it's 2 hours away from us, 2 hours and maybe 45 minutes away from us where we're at, and we stinking just we went from spring break, winter break, summer break parents to, oh my gosh, we're gonna have him every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks. For 3 weeks and 4 weeks at a time? Are you kidding me? We can keep clothes at the house now for him. We don't have to pack them and go back and forth. What? So that's been insanely crazy and just awesome. He's here with us now. We have him for September. And I'm just over the moon about it. It's been incredible. We're homeschooling him now. We're about, this is our 5th day homeschooling him. It's Monday right now. 5th day homeschooling him. And he's adjusting. He's been in the school system since he was like 3 years old. He went to like a pre-K and everything. So he's having to unlearn the way he's learned and learn a new way that he likes to learn and be disciplined. And my wife is homeschooling 3 years earlier than she planned to. She's a saint of a woman. She's an angel. I love her. I'm very grateful for her. I'm able to come to the office a couple days a week and then write at night and write during Malachi's nap time and stuff like that. So I've been really trying to balance everything and figure it all out. And I have so much work to catch up on because I've just been doing everything in life to get situated and settled in Texas. And we're living on some land right now. And it's been awesome. It's so cool, man. And we're working towards hopefully having a house soon that we can call our home. And man, God is just good. He really is. He's so good. And he's been so faithful to me. And it's like, man, you guys thought that I was doing God's will and listening to the calling that he put on my life before he answered a miracle. I'm telling you guys, if you knew this situation, you would understand it. It's hard to explain, but this was never supposed to happen. But with God, it happened. And my son's mom and her family are like leaning into God closer than ever before, talking about him, excited. Noah yesterday said he wanted to get baptized, so we're trying to come up with a plan for them to come up and see him get baptized at our local church that we've been going to. And like, come on, man, you can't explain any of that unless it's God. It's not me. I didn't do nothing. I offered to help with some moving costs, and that's it. And like, I'm willing to homeschool. I'm able. Me and my wife are able. We want him here. We love him. He's ours. We're a blended family, and I met Catherine because she loved Noah. Like, she was his teacher, and he was always in her arms, and she loved me because she loved him. There's no way God was gonna not let this happen. And seeing it though, and after, man, you guys should have seen me for 4 days. I was praising Jesus on my knees, like hands up in the sky, just like everything was just like so giddy after that. And then the spiritual attacks came, of course, as they always do. You're praising God big. Things happen in life that are just unfortunate, and just things happen that man. The enemy knows what's up, though. He knows how to attack, and he knows how to make sure that you're not always on cloud nine, if that makes sense. Isn't that crazy, though? It truly is crazy that we live in a world where there's a spiritual war going on at all times, and we're in the middle of it because we believe in Christ. And yeah, man, I'm just blessed. This show is about to be crazy, y'all. It's going to be so good. I wrote some new episodes that I'm excited to share with you guys. Trust me, I want to record them all ASAP Rocky, but sometimes, man, you just got to slow down, and like the pace of your life is going to go at a pace where it needs to go and not where you want it to go. Like, do I want to have an episode every single Wednesday for you guys? Yeah. But also, I just got my office set up. This is Monday. I was in here Friday setting it up for a few hours the other day, and this is my first day like here with it pretty much mostly set up. And I just know that I'm behind on stuff. I got my schoolwork, and I got to catch up on that. I got to catch up on orders for my speeches, and I had to do one episode for you guys because you guys is birds in school equals the future, and I know that. I believe that, and I also know that birds is an opportunity to tell people about Christ and help y'all grow in your relationship with Christ. And I think a testimony sometimes can really make you just realize, like, oh, dang, like God does answer prayers. He's going to answer the miracle that I need, and we truly need to believe that, because if we don't believe in the miracles, they're not going to come. Like when Jesus was healing the blind, if you didn't believe that guy can really see, then you're missing out on the spiritual message. If you think Jesus is not walking on water, you think he's over here has a plank under him, then that's on you, playboy. If you don't think he rose from the dead, you don't believe in Jesus. All right. He is the miracle. All right. Isn't that crazy? The miracle is tangible. He's here. He's spirit. It's relationship. It's not a spirit of religion. We need to get away from that. Our church in this culture is weird, man. It really is. I go to church sometimes and I'm like, careful. I got people that listen to this, they go to my church, but sometimes, you know what I'm talking about though, right? Where sometimes you're like, ooh, careful. No, we just need to be accountable, man. That's something that is lacking in just our own lives, really. It's like discipline needs to happen and consequences need to happen. It's like God has grace, but he also has truth, and he has things that you need to do. We need to obey him. We need to be walking on the path, or at least trying to get back on it if we stumble. And like I said, guys, I'll be stumbling sometimes, and I'm like, I always tell people on the show, but I'll remind you, don't look at me All right. I would like to be a leader, but I'd also like to be a leader that shows you the real leader. You know what I mean? Like, I be stumbling sometimes, but I just make it look like I'm dancing. But yeah, man, vulnerability cultivates connections. So this show is all about that, man. And it's something that I hope you guys take a lot of pride in, and you're proud to be a part of the Birdhouse, because we're only going up from here. I don't even know if I mean numbers. I just think I mean like life, and I think that's what it's about. It's not about the numbers, like numbers just remind me that, oh, people actually listen. That's cool, and that's what makes me happy, is to listen. People give me their ears, which is incredible. The next episode I wrote that is going to be phenomenal is called You're Not the Only One with a Pool, or something like that. I don't know if that's the exact title, but look out for the word pool, because it's going to be in the title. And it is an incredible episode that I hope motivates you and just hypes you up and gets the spirit moving inside your car or wherever you listen. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, man. There's so much more to share. God's been doing so much in my life, to the point where it's like I could talk about it all day, but I know you guys got things to do and people to see and prayers to pray. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are always on time, always there whenever I need you guys to be. You guys reach out. You guys tell me you love the episodes. You share the episodes with people. That's incredible. You guys text me about the episodes and like, you remind me what I talk about on this show. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. And just remember, man, Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. All right, guys, I just banged my chair against the desk, but hey, I'm in a new office. Give me some space. All right. Give me some grace and space. But yeah, hopefully the audio sounded good on here. I think it sounded good. This is the new Yeti. Hope you guys like it. Also got some new headphones. Headphones sound good. I got low cushions over here for sound. So hopefully it sounds better in here too than it did in the RV. You would always hear the AC in the RV. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that drove me mad sometimes. I would be so upset because I'm like, man, I want it to sound good, and Catherine's like, there will be a season when it sounds good, I swear. She's so encouraging. But also, like, stop being a baby, put on your big boy pants and just record your episode. She's a real one. All right, y'all, I appreciate it. Much love. Look out for the next episode. I'm hoping to have it out to you guys soon, sooner than later, as always. It'll probably be 2 this week. I might record another one right now real quick, just real quick. I might be able to do it. All right, guys, much love. I gotta stop talking. All right, see ya.